welcome your boy Sean Wallace back to the motherfucking show. You know what I mean? We agree to disagree.
What's up, man?
Uh, look. So what I was saying previously, I was lambasting the current political climate of just about everything because everything is so highly politicized. Um, and like I said, and I said it, and I keep saying it. I did not agree with Charlie Kirk. I don't think I'd like him as a person, but nobody deserves to be killed for their beliefs. We've been down that road previously, right?
Hmm.
The the only people I think that need to be killed for their beliefs or their ideas are pedophiles. Like, that's just keep it buck. You know what I'm saying? Feed them to the wood chipper, as my homie JD Delay constantly says. You know what I'm saying? Like, but whether you agree with somebody or you disagree with somebody, that does not give you the right to snuff them out, right? And then I've noticed that, and like I said, so I've noticed that they also have been trying to compare this to Martin Luther King, which I don't agree with that, but I can see how they could connect those dots. I can see it. I can understand the idea behind that rhetoric, but I don't agree with that one at all. Uh,
Has it gotten that far where someone's someone's opinions online have become that important? Martin Luther King,
I mean, again, I don't like I said, I don't agree with that
YouTuber.
idea. I don't agree with it, but I can see how you could connect the dots because in I would imagine in their mind, right? They're saying it as, okay, this is another man who was killed for his beliefs and his faith or whatever, right? But we don't actually know the motives of the person that did it, right? And since the woefully inept FBI still hasn't caught the dude, we don't know what his ideas or his reasoning behind it is. And I saw Representative Nancy Mace. I forget what state she's from, but she's a Republican. But she's talking about, oh, the Charlie Kirk's death is a leftist. Uh, it's a leftist plot. It's the spark of war, yada yada yada. And I'm like, well, how, like, until you actually catch the guy and actually know what his motivations are, how can you just make a blanket statement and say, well, it's a leftist plot? What if he was a Trump supporter? You know what I'm saying?
I don't think that matters.
I don't think it does either. But I think that the fact that our representatives are sitting here stoking the flames of war and vitriolic evil is is
That's
is
been
is
that's been a
wrong.
continued conversation since the minute he hit the floor. Is war. I have spoken to a I call him a representative of white culture.
Okay. Okay, we all have those.
I tapped in, and that's the instant reaction is this means war.
But does it?
The question is war against who? Because now I'm seeing that energy has ignited, and they are up.
Up in arms.
The white man is up, and he's ready. They're on the same page, so they're ready for war. Question is, who are they at war with? And the answer is the the alphabet team.
It's not even just the alphabet people, it's the left, period. Like, they want, if you identify as a Democrat,
Mm-hmm.
in their mind you're evil, right?
Mm-hmm.
To the left, if you identify as a conservative Republican, you're evil. And I don't think either of those things is true. I think people are taking it way too far because people aren't intelligent enough to have a civil discourse.
Well, how are you supposed to know who the left actually is without asking that question? My favorite question, the greatest line in all of American film history. What kind of American are you?
I,
So you can't identify a left just by profiling.
no,
But who but you can though. Guess who is the easy identifying person of the left? The gays. They're after the gays. They're gonna look at gay people, mostly trans people, uh or multi-gender people. They're going to look at them as easy targets, and they're the ones that they're going to beef with.
are there?
As a black man, though, I'm just going to sit back and just
I mean, here's the thing. I don't want anybody to die at all. Is there? The question ultimately also becomes, well, are there no conservative gay people? Are there no conservative trans people? Do they all just automatically become blanket left because of their gender, sexuality? I don't know how to say that, but because of that, they're automatically left. That's stupid. That's dumb.
this
You know what
is
I'm saying? Again, it's 9/11. Right now, it's 9/11. Yesterday, right after the Charlie Kirk murder, there was a school shooting in Colorado. Another one, right?
I thought they were talking about old stuff.
No, it just happened yesterday. And then at the same time, so now there's more rhetoric talking about, okay, well, all the recent school shootings have been trans people. So now you want to stop trans people from having guns. But what about when for the last 20 some odd years it was all just sad white boys? Nobody better than I.
I was trying to make the argument that uh you need to start paying attention to the bad people. We pay way too much we pay too much attention to the good people and say, all right, let's let this slide because you can't take that away from good people. But the problem is that you let good people have stuff. Now bad people will take advantage of that and do bad things. The one thing that I was running with throughout this current administration is that yeah, it's been tough on some good people, but the idea is to focus on what bad people are capable of, and we're going to eliminate those problems. And I was trying to explain that because it was like, oh, you've just been attacked by the thing that you value so much, which is the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment just got one of your very own and beloved and one of the more public ones unalived.
Who is a Second Amendment advocate?
He went down the way he wanted to go. You would think that he would want to go.
I don't think anybody wants to get shot in the
Of
neck,
course,
dog.
he didn't want to go down like he didn't.
You know
He
what I'm
didn't. He
saying?
didn't
Like
see that coming.
he left behind two kids, a wife.
He didn't
Like,
see that coming.
no, he didn't see that coming. You know what I'm saying? And nobody sees it coming. And again, it's rhetoric around it. As tragic as it is, there's too much baseless rhetoric about, oh, the othering of people to make them seem like they're dangerous. But again, who's who is it that judges whether they're good or bad people? Because as far as I can tell, each and every single one of us has the capacity for great good, and every single one of us has the capacity for great evil. You know what I mean? That's just reality. So whose version of good or bad is right? Whose version of right or wrong is right? You know what I'm saying? That's and again, that ultimately that it boils down to who is anybody to judge what any of us do. You know what I'm saying? I think the person who murdered Charlie Kirk, the guy in North Carolina who stabbed that young Ukrainian lady to death for no fucking reason, who was just sitting on the bus or train, just typing on her phone. He just pulled out a knife and stabbed her. For what? School shootings left and right, beheadings, ICE kidnapping people for nothing, other than having a difference of a political opinion than, the president. What are we doing? What are we doing? This
We're not holding anybody accountable. We're not holding anybody accountable. Nobody's accountable for their actions. Nobody's accountable for their actions. And then you want to turn around and say, well, it's a mental health issue. And I'm like like we grew up at a certain time where, you know, you didn't it wasn't okay when you did something wrong.
right,
Regardless of what you did something wrong and you're gonna have to pay for it.
right,
Now you do something wrong, well, there's probably a reason for it. And because the reason, and usually you can boil it down to mental health, this huge umbrella of
hmm
why things are happening. And it's like, all right, cool. Mental health may be why it happened, but it's not an excuse.
no.
It's just the reason. And you have to deal with that mental health issue on your own while you rehabilitate.
But how are we dealing with the mental health issues? Because we did grow up in a different time and place, right? And we we didn't have the words for the mental health issues that we had. And I'm like, come on, let's be honest here. We were all depressed. We all had anxiety. We all had trauma, which the buzzword for the day. We all had trauma. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But I ain't never shoot nobody. You ain't never shoot nobody. You know what I'm
You,
saying?
but you know why? Because you knew there was consequences behind those things.
Right. We knew. Now, of course, that's not to say that we don't know motherfuckers that was in the streets doing a thing and who may have caught some bodies or whatever. I know a couple. I know you know a couple. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But guess what? You know where they are right now? Serving their time, or unfortunately, they're dead.
I mean, they tried to say it was a elderly gentleman that did it, and he was being walked out, and he's yelling, "Shoot me! Shoot me! Shoot me!" Because he didn't want to deal with the consequences of what comes after, uh, you know, commit murder or whatever.
No, because you
Um,
wouldn't.
and who's to say that was even the person? Because it
It
seems
wasn't.
really, really.
It
He didn't
wasn't.
look like he didn't look like he's able to carry it to
It
hold on to
it
the type of
wasn't
weapon that it took and the ability to do what he did. Because that was
the
like
the
that was
woefully, and I say this,
a
and
shot.
I'm sure I'm gonna get some flack from it, and I'm sure I'm gonna be on somebody's list after saying it. But the woefully inept FBI have yet to catch the guy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And that's because right now the FBI is run by people who are not qualified to run the FBI, right? Our representatives refuse to do anything about gun violence or mental health. They don't want to do anything, right? So who's that? Like, so right now, as it stands, we have sort of a revolutionary idea of taxation without representation again, because I don't feel like I'm represented in Congress or Senate at all by anybody who shares my thought process or my ideas or my ideology or my beliefs. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a Christian. I'm not a conservative. I'm not a liberal. I am a fucking American. Period. Point blank. I
We're human
believe in the
beings.
sanctity of the Constitution that says that I have an inalienable God given right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, regardless of what my beliefs are. I shouldn't have to make a choice. And a binary choice is a lose lose situation for everybody because nobody wins when you only have two choices. All it's designed to do is keep us fighting one another over dumb shit. And it's failing. This country is failing. You know what I mean? It's failing its people, it's failing its elderly, it's failing its immigrant population, uh it's failing everybody. Everybody is fucking failing right now. We ain't got no jobs, we ain't getting paid. Inflation's a motherfucker, everything's going up but our fucking paycheck. So what are we doing wrong? What are we doing?
I mean, if you ask the wrong people, we are not we're not failing. You know, you know what I'm saying? They would look at certain people as failures because they don't generate they don't generate the type of money that it takes to even matter. That's the problem with this country is that this country is run uh it's run on the mindset that uh capitalism gets things done. And the people that do have a say are the ones that are uh benefiting financially in this country. And we will continue to fail because that mindset is what's driving any and everything that's going on. Meanwhile, the ones that actually um, do the work and do the things in this country that actually do matter are not being taken into consideration at all. The taxpayers and the working class are the only ones that really generate the money that this country uh like it's like you they that's how you any move that they're make made is based on taxes. Who provides that? The working class people.
No, all right, so hold on. I'll do you one better. Let's look at something that people don't really think about, right? The current regime that's in charge will have the people who sycophantically believe that all the coastal cities and all the urban cities are run by leftists who don't care about middle America and the values of middle America. However, California, Los Angeles in particular, New York, New York City in particular, Illinois, Chicago in particular, those three cities alone generate almost all of the tax revenue that is utilized by the so-called red states for their Medicaid plans, their food stamp programs, their school programs. Like those three cities generate the most money that goes into the coffers of all the other states. Right? That's a fact. So you can't say, oh, they don't care about middle America. Guess what? We supplement everything you do in middle America. All right? We supplement everything you do. And I can't even say we, I live in Pennsylvania now. But but I'm a New York at heart. But those three cities basically allow for Alabama, Mississippi, Kentucky, Arkansas, and all these other states to function and make sure that their people get the help they need. You know what I'm saying? Not saying those states don't contribute anything or those states don't generate anything or that, but the tax revenue from New York City, Chicago, and Los Angeles, California generate more tax revenue for those for the rest of the country combined, basically.
That can't be the case.
That is the case. Look it up. Look it up.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that doesn't make any sense. Like, how are you going to like? It's a serious issue about how we bring money in versus how it is uh expended and utilized.
Right.
Because you can't depend you can't have 50 states depending on three. Make it make sense.
Well, what I'm saying is they don't. I'm not saying they're the
Hold on,
sole.
what's it?
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
ahead. I'm
I'm
listening.
not saying that they're the sole proprietor of the other 50, the other 47 states. What I'm saying is that their tax revenue that those three states generate majorly supplements those other all the other states because those are the financial capitals of the freaking country. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What is it? I
Beyond
mean,
that,
this. I mean, because let me. Like, I could break it down even more. How stupid the whole the whole system is. Like how it's being utilized. So where I'm at, I'm in Pittsburgh, right? So you have a
right?
town in Pittsburgh, like let's say Penn Hills.
Okay.
It's the town. That's the town. Now there's a. I guess you want to say not like a mayor, but this is somebody, I guess, that's under the mayor, responsible for the town and how their taxes are utilized.
Right.
This is a real conversation. This is a real conversation. This lady said, "We need a." Oh man, I don't want to throw out the wrong number. I want to say she said we need a 339% tax increase on this particular town. They settled. They settled on a 37% increase from 25. Her salary, her salary. Me and my boy, we looked it up because it's on. You can just look it up.
Look it up.
150,000 a year. 150,000 a year. Guess whose money? Guess whose money never goes short?
There's.
Never. It's going off top.
Yep.
Off top, 150,000.
Yep.
Now, this person makes 150,000. What about the people under her? There's probably so many issues. I mean, people under her umbrella that are getting paid. Never mind the people above her that are getting paid. But guess what? Our tax dollars are going to them no matter what. After them, then we decide, all right, is it going to the police? Is it going to the schools? Is it going to healthcare?
Right.
Make it like how does that make sense to you? How does that make
It
sense to us?
it doesn't. No civil servant should be making that much money. Period. Point blank. No civil servant should be making an in excess of 100 grand a year.
But this
No.
is my thing is that what like I said earlier, the people that matter are the people that have the money or appear to generate money. The people that have the money don't generate the money. They are just the ones that are um capitalizing on the system that is currently in place. But the people that actually do generate the money are me and you.
Yeah.
And we the ones that work for the people that create the businesses that run each and every town and city and stuff like that. And then we have our police put in place to weaponize against the people that are working, and they get money from our hard work as well. Because we haven't talked about that. We haven't got to that part either.
No. So I got a buddy who's a cop, right? Works up here for the Pocono Mountain Police Department. Good, he's a good dude. You know what I'm saying? Um, and just based on off of his own words, he don't make that much. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't make a lot of money to be a police officer in this country, in this area, right?
Why
No,
not?
because much like anybody else, he's just a working man. You know what I'm saying? And the the system is set up to pit us against each other. And it's not even the haves versus the have-nots. It is literally the elites versus everybody the fuck else. You know what I'm saying? Anybody, if you like, in all honesty and fairness, I think that if you don't make a certain amount of money, the system, the country, the people who run things don't care about you. Period. You know what I'm saying? And again, no civil servant should make in excess of $100,000 a year. No civil servant should be making more than $60,000 a year.
They should make a minimum wage.
They should make the minimum wage of it. Look, if
Why
every
would they make? Why would you
representative,
make anything other than that? What are you doing
if
that is
if
so that requires you to earn any money?
here's the thing, if every let's look at some hypotheticals real quick. If every civil servant, every congressman or senator made the minimum wage of their state, how long do you think it would be before they raised the minimum wage of their state? Right? You know what I'm saying? If if every civil if now let's look at another hypothetical,
Stop, stop.
right?
You can't make too much sense now.
Well,
Take it
look,
easy.
let's look at another hypothetical. If every immigrant person in this country, black, Latino, Asian, whatever, if every immigrant in this country left this country right now and just went back to where they were from, this country would die.
Yeah, for
You know what I'm
sure.
saying? Because quite frankly, how how many nurses are immigrants? How many doctors? How many teachers? How many warehouse workers? How many truckers? How many construction workers? How many field hands? How many, you know what I'm saying? Like all these different things are predicated upon the idea that we have immigrants in this country. Now, I am not against immigration. I'm against illegal immigration, as anybody should be. You know what I mean? But isn't every person in this country sort of an illegal immigrant in at some point? Right? Like
Explain legal.
based on the laws of the land made by people who based on the laws of the land based on the laws of the land written by people who came as immigrants. You know what I'm saying? And, again, and
If you
again,
ask the people would not care unless unless they're committing crimes. If
and
you're not
that's
committing a crime per se, I don't think the people would even care.
no,
If you're here doing manual labor just to make a buck and support your family, I don't think anybody has a problem with that. And
ain't
you have and what right do we have as human beings to say you can't be here when you're
agreed.
just trying to make an honest dollar? Now, when you commit a crime, yeah, now I can hold you to something and say, all right, you don't deserve it.
But let the punishment fit the crime. Is that not how we do things? And are you not still innocent until proven guilty? Like let's like I thought that was the American way,
Nah.
right? Like that's the way it's supposed to be. And this is why I'm saying that for all the good people that we have in this country, whether you be a native born person or an immigrant, you're going to let a few bad apples spoil the bunch. And put a blanket and make it a blanket statement over everybody because because all they care about is control. All they care about is making sure that people know that they're the ones in charge and they're this and that. It's the othering of people. I don't care what you do in your bedroom. I don't care if you're a consenting adult. I don't care what you do, as long as you're not hurting anybody and committing crime or hurt and or I don't care. It's none of my business, right? That's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? And as I've always stated, and I mean this, just because I may disagree with you, it doesn't mean I hate you. It doesn't mean I want you to die. It doesn't mean that I want you to go to jail. It doesn't mean that I think other of you. All it means is I disagree with you. Doesn't mean I'm going to
It's that simple,
disrespect you.
dude. You don't get to get away. You don't get to get away with that. You can't say uh offensive, aggressive, and gaslighting things against people,
Fair.
and then get to play the I didn't do anything.
That's fair.
Do that.
That's fair.
You are you're you're now weaponizing, like, people like Charlie Kirk weaponized freedom of speech. He made words he made words uh hit like punches. And everyone is trying to act like it didn't happen that way, or he didn't say these things, and he didn't offend, or you know what I'm saying, like he
He
was
did.
this person that he clearly was. He's clearly trying to agitate people. He's clearly aggressing towards groups of people, and having no
Right, but
no
isn't
accountability for what he says.
right, but isn't that the way of and but that's kind of my point.
You don't
Isn't
get
that
away with that though.
it right, but isn't that just the way of one side versus the other? Right? That's how that works because at the end of the day, like I said, in an ideal world, live and let live. You know what I'm saying? This shouldn't even be a political ideation. This shouldn't make it things like this should not make it to the Supreme Court, right? That's what I'm saying. Things like this should not be politicized. What you do in your bedroom, what you do with your own body should not be weaponized. Now, and I saw uh, one of the congresswomen, I forget her name, but she was on the House floor and she's saying, well, if all of you are so concerned about gender affirming care, right? And these are her words. If all of you are so concerned about gender affirming care, well, then any one of you who has had Botox or lip fillers or breast implants or whatever, that's gender affirming care. So maybe you should take a look in the mirror and stop worrying about what everybody else is doing. And that is a fair assessment.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's fair. That's real.
I'm with you.
You know what I mean? None of that should be put on in any way made a political statement. You know what I'm saying? None of that should be in any way of the policies because the truth of the matter is politicians should only be worrying about how to lower our national debt, defend us against foreign aggressors, and make sure the people in their country have food and clothes and homes and all of that. That's it. But we're going to pause right there. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come on right back on Agree to Disagree. And we are back. Agree to Disagree. So I was looking. I was looking it up real quick because I wanted to see. So according to the Google AI.
Don't you love that stuff?
No, I do not. Honestly, AI scares the shit out of me. But but I recognize its usefulness as a tool. Uh it says here, urban cities typically generate higher overall and per capita tax revenue than rural cities due to higher property values, dense populations, and robust economies that fund extensive public services like infrastructure and public transportation. However, the cost of these services in dense urban environments leads to higher individual tax burdens for urban residents compared to those in rural areas, despite higher rural tax rates on lower property values to meet basic needs. So and then it goes on into the nitty-gritty of it. So again, we're not shitting on rural environments. We're simply saying like stop thinking that this isn't the United States and that only your state is the United States, or only the people who you think agree with you are the United States. That's all I'm saying.
I
You know what
mean,
I mean?
each state operates as its own country. Basically, we're all just it's 50 countries. It's almost like Africa. I think we met. So, but basically, Pennsylvania operates on its own as operates on its own scale. New York operates on its own scale. They just all uh collectively put it all together, but they run their own states as
Hmm.
their own entities or whatever the case may be.
Yeah,
But it doesn't make any because we get taxed on pretty much everything.
sure.
You get taxed on your income, you get taxed on the things that you buy, you get taxed on the place that you live at, you get taxed on everything.
Shit, you get taxed if you live one place and work in a different county or whatever. You know what I'm saying? If you commute to work, you like I remember when I worked in Jersey and I lived in New York, I got taxed for Jersey, I got taxed for New York, I got taxed like I got taxed all over the damn place. Like, you're
How's that like how does that make sense? How are you getting taxed? Then on top of that, supposed to survive on the money that's left. And
you asking you oh boy.
but where does it make sense to do that? Because basically basically the working class person is as dumb as it gets.
It's not so much that they're dumb, it's just that at the end of the
It doesn't
day,
make any sense to do
it
what what we do. It doesn't make any sense because then the people that generate the amount of money that it takes to matter, they don't they don't contribute.
no, they don't. They get tax breaks. And they get rewarded for again, they get rewarded
But
by making more
but you're the
money.
loud one. Like someone like Charlie Kirk generates money off of the internet, and now he gets to have his chest out and talk about people um that he feels are beneath him because that's how he talks. That's how he talks to people,
And
like they're beneath him.
right, like I said, I didn't agree with anything he said. You know what I'm saying? And but again, just because I disagree with you doesn't mean I want you dead. And I think that's what's being lost in this entire conversation is that
But why am I supposed to feel bad that
it's not about
you suffered the consequence that you suffered?
because it's because
I'm
you
not I'm not supposed to emphasize. I'm not supposed to celebrate it, but I'm also not supposed to cry for you.
I mean, you may not supposed
Can't
to be
cry
crying.
for
You
you.
don't.
Can't
What
cry
I
for
would say
somebody.
is this, the empathetic thing would, the empathetic part of me would say the reason you don't celebrate it is because if you do, you're an asshole. The other part, the rest of the empathy is that two young children are now waking up today and their dad isn't there. You know what I'm saying? If for nothing else, you feel bad that his family grieves. You know what I'm saying? And again, just because you disagree with them, it doesn't mean that that by that definite by that example that you should automatically not feel bad for a family losing somebody that they care about.
An asshole can't call somebody else an asshole.
I am an asshole, and I'll call people an asshole. I will. You know what I mean? I know I'm an asshole. I know that there are opinions and ideas that I have that would be that could be construed as hateful or hurtful to somebody. I'm sure of it. But at the end of the day, like I said, just because I disagree with you doesn't mean that I want to see you suffer. Unless you're a pedophile. You I want to see suffer. You know what I'm saying? But like for I'll give you a perfect example, right? I'll give you a perfect example of that. I feel that if you fly the Confederate flag or you support Nazis, you should not be allowed to utilize the First Amendment as a defense for your speech simply because your side lost. You didn't support the country that actually won, and therefore you don't deserve the rights that they have. Because you're
Absolutely.
not because by the very definition of you supporting that ideology, you are not a part of the United States of America. That's how I feel. Am I right or wrong? Don't know, but that's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot, and I know a lot of cats who wave the Confederate flag that are not racist, right? And let's just touch on this for a moment. Calling people racists, Nazis, narcissists, and all these different labels that we put on that they've become so useless now. They're so overblown. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Sometimes racism is
Oversaturated.
racism, and there is such a thing as coded language, and there is such a thing as uh people still harboring those resentments and those old ideas. Yeah, that's still around. But you know what? Sometimes people aren't being racist. They're simply just being honest to for themselves with other people. You know what I'm saying? And you got to be able
No,
to,
they're being ignorant. They're being ignorant and they're being allowed to be ignorant.
all right, if that's all right,
But once your ignorance becomes your um
identity.
oh, once your ignorance becomes your fatality,
But again, but again,
sucks to be you.
it does.
What am I
But at the
supposed to
same
do?
time, I don't have to I don't have to champion and support and vilify you whether or not I agree with you or not. I can disagree with you and still treat you as as a person and not want you to suffer and die for your thoughts. You know what I mean? That's the very advent of civil discourse. The idea of it is to ultimately find some common ground. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I didn't know Charlie Kirk as a person. You know what I'm saying? I don't know him as a person. I've heard him speak for at length on different things. I've heard him speak on the Joe Rogan podcast. I've heard him speak. I didn't agree with a lot of what he said, but at the end of the day, I still can show empathy to a person who is no longer here and their family is grieving for that. You know what I'm saying?
Charlie Kirk got popped in Utah.
Yeah, which
Place
is
that he thought the place that he thought was safe
yeah,
and was
yeah.
not prepared for for what happened to him. But
No.
if he had been in Chicago, he would have had the National Guard out there
He
watching him.
probably would have, but you know what? Anytime he had gone to Chicago, he was completely safe. Anytime he went to New York, he was completely
No,
safe.
but
Anytime he went to any of these
his
urban
ignorance
places,
became his demise.
it did ultimately, sure. But at the end of the day, all the places that these so-called Christian conservatives demean and call bastions of immorality or whatever, those are the places where people are the most safe when you want to just express your opinions and your ideas and your beliefs. You know what I'm saying? Those are the safest places for you. You know, think about it. We went to high school in New York. A lot of people got bullied. You know what never happened in almost in ever in New York in my lifetime? Mass shootings. And you know what? They'll call gang violence or black on black crime mass shootings. No, that's not what that is. That's simply an advent of poverty, people. You know what I mean? Poverty begets crime. So wherever you have poverty, you're going to find crime. And guess what? Per capita, based on statistics, there's more crime in your red states, your rural areas. There's more murders, there's more robberies, there's more rapes, there's all of that in middle
welfare.
America than there is in urban environments.
Yeah, we basically lived through uh people's ignorance.
Sure. Because here's and again, it comes and I think it also comes down to time and place because we lived in an era where we didn't have the internet to say anything. So if you said something out of pocket, you got punched in your face.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? There was consequences for your actions.
And this is where, I mean, this is what I'm talking about though, is when, because a dude like that operates on the internet and gets very loud, gets very yeah, so he gets ahead of himself. So then he takes his rhetoric to the streets per se, and then starts going into colleges and starts having these conversations and stuff like that. And his ignorance allowed him to put himself in this vulnerable position where you were saying what you saw, you were saying what you said without consequence. Now you're outside, and then and now you face that consequence. Like you said, we grew up in a situation where you don't really have no voice. You couldn't say things like that. Things that you said to somebody, and when you said that, you had to be prepared for what came after that.
Right.
That's not happening. That's not happening anymore.
Right. But here's the difference. If you said something that was so out of pocket that you had to get beat up for it or jumped for it, that was usually you no longer wanted to say things like that, but you lived to be able to at least change your ideas. This man didn't get the opportunity to change his ideas. He was just killed. Now, again, we don't know the exact reason why he was killed.
No,
We're
yes, you
only
do. Yes, you
no, we
do.
don't.
Don't
We
do that.
don't.
Don't do
Because
that.
the person who
Don't
did
do
it
that.
didn't
You
get
don't lie.
caught. We don't know why he was killed. Now we can surmise that it's because of his beliefs and his thoughts and his ideas. And 9 times out of 10, that's probably true. But until we actually know for sure, we are simply postulating. You know what I'm saying? We're guessing. We don't know for sure. The dude who did it may have just been mentally ill and there we go again, mentally ill and had access to a gun and was like, I don't like this person because this. But
He's had a
again,
he's had a the person that did it has had enough of him and did
perhaps.
something about it. And a lot of times we're not prepared for that. Just like these dudes talking about they ready for war. They're not ready for war. Because if you really brought war to a lot of people's doorstep, what would happen? They'd be begging for peace.
Yeah, usually. But I mean, look, I know I've seen videos online of the militant proud boy ass type people out in the woods training with their guns and doing all that. And you know what? All right, that's what you want to do. You want to prepare for a war that may or may not happen. Good on you, man. But is that an actual genuinely good use of your time? Or would it be better spent actually trying to uplift your entire community and help people as opposed to trying to tear down another community simply because, oh, I don't agree with them? Like when you see stories of young, like I seen a story recently of a young man who, young black kid, he seen some cops, or like I think it was a cop who had managed to go into like a lake or something. He had driven off into the water, and the kid got out of his car real quick and jumped in and saved his life. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather see stories of that and think that that's more of who we are as a people as opposed to this constant.
It is who we are as a people. This is why we have to, as the old dirty bastard said, we have to keep it real. We have to
Shout
keep
out to
it
old
real.
dirty bastard
If
boy.
you say, if you stay, because within the confines of your community, yeah, you don't do ridiculous things. You know what I'm saying? Most of the ridiculous stuff happens in the safety of your house, where you're allowed to be as ignorant as you want to be, and then that kind of stuff gets fueled, and then you take it outside. But for the most part, I don't think people be on that kind of time, like for real.
Well, that's what happens when you only speak to people who agree with you. You know what I'm saying? If you never, like, one of the greatest sayings I've ever heard is, how powerful are your beliefs if they're never challenged? How strongly do you believe in something if your beliefs are never challenged? Right? I personally believe that almost every single religion is a cult. And I also think that there's a vast difference between having faith and being religious. I don't have a problem with faith. I do have a problem with religion. You know what I'm saying? With 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 Are there people out there that disagree with me? Definitely. You know what I'm saying? Can I change my ideas based on facts presented? Definitely. You know what I'm saying? But am I going to go out and go kill a bunch of people simply because I disagree with their ideas or their beliefs? No.
Yeah, you're not going to stop nobody from doing what it is that
No.
they think. Yeah,
I'm not, because I believe in the concept of America. I believe in the concept of the Constitution that allows you to practice whatever beliefs you want, and as long as you're not hurting anybody, you should be allowed to do so. You know, one of the I think the
are
only
conservatives a cult to you,
yes, but so are liberals.
or is liberals a cult to you?
Yes. I think if you follow any ideation, if you follow any ideology and solely make that your personality, you're in a
Yeah.
cult. So if you're a MAGA Trump supporter, you're in a cult. If you are a liberal, super, how did I say it? I think we said it on another podcast before, a supercalifragilistic, you're in a cult. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then I think there are people who are somewhere in between those who
Being black a cult?
know, but being a nigga is
Mm.
just, you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Just like I think being just like I think being white isn't a cult, but being a cracker is.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's differences in those types of people. Chris Rock said that, and that's true. You know what I mean? I love black people. I hate niggas. You know what I'm saying? But that's not saying, oh, just because you say the N word or you say this or that you're no, it's more than that. It's when you present yourself in a certain way and you present yourself as inflexible to other ideas. That's when you've become a cult. That's when you're in a cult. You know what I'm saying? If your only goal in life is to run the streets and play the block, you're in a cult. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't get out of that mentality of, this is who I am.
It's become your identity.
It's become your identity. And unfortunately, that's a piss poor identity to have. You know what I'm saying? Just like I listen, you know what I think is a interesting cult leader, weirdly enough? Dr. Umar. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? I think Dr. Umar is a cult leader. You know what I'm saying? Because while I
For sure, for sure.
because I think it's okay, but like I say, it's all right to have black pride, but the minute somebody says white pride, now it's a problem. I think everybody should be able to have some pride in where they come from. The switch gets flipped when you take that pride and you turn it into power. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that there's any one chosen people of God. I think that's a fucked up idea to have. You know what I mean? Because you're basically saying, "Oh, everybody else is wrong and we're right." You know what I'm saying? And if you don't think like this, you're evil or you're othered. Again, it goes back to that othering thing. You know what I mean? Whereas
I
as
mean,
opposed to if I guarantee you, if you spent any time with somebody else, while you may disagree with them on some things, I guarantee, like, perfect example. I love fried chicken. I don't eat it much because I'm trying to lose some weight, but I love fried chicken. You know who else I know loves fried chicken? White people. You know what I'm saying? That's common ground. That's something to build on. You know what I'm saying? I loved my mom. You know who else loves their mom? White folk. You know what I'm saying? That's common ground to build on. That's all I'm saying. Like we can find common ground. It's not about hating somebody because they think differently than you. And I didn't hate Charlie Kirk because he said wild shit. I just disagreed with him. I don't hate Dr. Umar because he says wild shit. I just disagree with him.
bro, I just feel sorry for him.
Well, yeah, I do.
I
I
feel
do feel
sorry
sorry.
for I feel sorry for a lot of things that they say that they can't take back, and then they have to stand on a lot of things that they say, and they just dig themselves further and further and further instead of learning from some of the things that they say
Yeah,
and trying to like you'll have debates and stuff like that, and a lot of times you will they somebody will shut you down and
yeah.
have you like, okay, they won that debate. Do you learn from that? No, you just bury it, move on to the next person, and try to, you know what I'm saying?
You
So that's
double
why I just
a
feel
good
sorry for people that don't learn from their mistakes or their flaws and stuff like that and try to improve.
uh, right. A good example of that is that did you see that Mehdi Hassan debate on Jubilee where he was surrounded by where the kid said, "Yeah, I'm a fascist." Are you really? Because if you truly were a fascist, you should be you shouldn't be allowed in this country. We fought that. We fought against that. You shouldn't be allowed to be a fascist and be an American citizen. Period, point blank. You know what I'm saying? You
I
you
agree.
should not be able to be a fascist in this country. And again, these are terms that we just kind of throw around, but when it applies, it applies. You know what I mean? When it applies, it applies. And as I always say, if it don't apply, let it fly. But if you take offense, I'm talking to you. You know what I mean?
But it's only and you could tell somebody says something like that. They have this kind of agenda behind it. Like, yeah, I'm going to support fascism because my that's going to be my identity. That's something I'm going to be known for. That's what I'm going to what's that called? That's what's going to create shock value. That's going to
Right.
turn into uh, that's going to generate me money online because
And it did.
that's what everybody's trying to do.
And it did. And he's like, "Oh, I lost my job because of my views." No, you didn't. You probably lost your job because you fucking sucked at your job. But how many people agree with you that donated to you? That's the scary thing. How many people out there identify as fascists and they hide in plain sight? You
People
know,
are people are jeopardizing their jobs for this online money.
Yeah, yeah. I I think like again, I don't think
Crazy is
anybody
that?
should be
How crazy is that? You
it's
just
very crazy.
this is how you're really going to eat. This is how you really help your community by working and the taxes and stuff like that is going to help your community. This is you jeopardize that so you can generate this online currency that's just going to benefit you, and then you're just going to like throw it all away.
Right.
Like it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't circulate at all.
No.
It really doesn't make any sense, bro.
No. But unfortunately, we now live in a time and
We are
place
lost.
and that's my point. We are as a society, as a country, we are losing. And it's because the 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 most extreme views are the ones that get the most airplay. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then, but again, we're doing things like never in my life did I ever think that CBS would acquiesce to the federal government and not just be unbiased. You know what I'm saying? As far as the journalistic integrity and things like that. Never did I think, and let's be honest here. Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, if you do enough research, you will find that all three of them are owned by the same people.
Mhm.
So they're feeding you garbage, but you shovel it up because they're giving you what you like to eat. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, all three of them they're all controlled by one grubby-handed son of a bitch who's just shoveling you shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, there are creators on YouTube that I thoroughly enjoy. Shout out to JD Delay. Shout out to Roma Army. Shout out to the Joe and Jada podcast. I love them. But there are things that a lot of these content creators say that I thoroughly agree with. There are things that I don't agree with, but I don't want them to be killed for their thoughts and ideas. I like look, I can say beyond a shadow of a doubt, I hate Candace Owen. I don't like her as a person. I don't think she provides any meaningful uh thoughts. I don't think she has anything of substance to say, but I don't want her to be killed for it. You know what I mean? I will champion her to be able to say what she feels and what she thinks, whether I agree with her or not, whether I find it repulsive or not, whether I think it's stupid or not. But I don't want her to die for it or because of it. That's my point. Um, I'm gonna transition real quick because we're almost out of time here, but it's time for everybody to know why I've been gone for a year and a day. So last October, as I was driving home from work, I turned into my community and I was hit by a motorcycle, right? And I wound up getting he was very badly injured. I wound up getting a concussion and I inadvertently drove away from the scene, which in the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania is a felony.
Mm.
Okay.
You got
I,
a motorcycle hit you
yes.
and you drove and you kept going because you didn't know that happened.
I don't even think I kept going. According to them, I kind of stopped. I came back around and then went through the gate or whatever.
That sucks.
Now, to be fair, I don't really remember any of that because again, I was concussed. So throughout this last year, I've been dealing with the ramifications of that. Went to court for it. Luckily, now here's the thing. I let down the guy who actually sold me the car because eventually he did. Like I told him, I would give it back to him once I was able to get back on my feet and get my own shit. And I'm saddened to because I'm not able to do that. Um, the guy who got hurt, luckily he didn't die. He was able to go home to his kids and his wife, and so I'm happy for that. But and I'm thankful that the DA offered to drop my felony to from a low felony to a high misdemeanor. So I'm thankful for that. The judge sentenced me to 2 years of parole and a year of probation after. So that's what I'm currently dealing with right now. I am currently on parole. I think I spent a night in jail, but I'm on parole because apparently the probationary guidelines in this state have changed and the judge is not a fan of them, so he's trying to do anything in his power to make sure people get violated and get sent to prison. Now, I don't do anything that's going to get me sent to prison. I go to work, I come home.
Yeah.
I talk my shit here on the internet. I do me. But that's what I've been dealing with for the last year. So that's why I was for the first few months I was still concussed. I didn't that was October 3rd. I didn't get over the concussion until March. And then I was just, that also led to me being woefully depressed and hurt and all these different things. So I just didn't feel comfortable filming and sharing my ideas and everything. But after everything that's going on, and we didn't even get into Trump, really. Like that's a whole nother episode by itself. We didn't even get into that shit. But that's why I've been gone for a year. You know what I'm saying? I lost my girl, lost the kids, lost everything. Then that happened, and I just
I took it personal.
huh?
I took it personal.
I'm sorry. You
I
should
thought no 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 no. I thought that I thought I did something
nope.
and it didn't fuck with me no more.
Nope. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. So belay those thoughts. That was not the case. I
Because I
simply was
was, I wanted to tap in and find out what's going on, and find out what's going on with you, but you seemed like you were really MIA, and I was just like, I don't know if I should. I don't want to I don't want to be intruding on people's lives or whatever, and I don't know what to say or what's going on. So I thought that you just like fell back and was just like not doing anything anymore, and
I
I was like, I don't know what to do. Like I don't know
I
how to
was
know
I
what to say
wasn't.
later, bro.
Nah, I wasn't because I didn't feel comfortable in my own skin, in my own space, to share ideas because I'm like, you know, after that whole situation and that whole incident, who am I to tell anybody anything? You know what I'm saying? But over time and with a little bit more clarity and, you know, conversing with the voices in my head, I've decided I'm fine. You know what I'm saying? I'm still dealing with it, obviously, because I've got 2 years of parole and, I haven't, I wasn't my best self, put it like that. So I didn't feel comfortable sharing my thoughts and opinions with anybody. And honestly, I did fall back. I fell back from social media. I fell back from family, friends, all that shit. Like I've really just kind of been to myself, um, just trying to heal. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm still hurt right now. Like my back is killing me. But like, and I just have been dealing with it. You know what I mean? But I'm like, everything that's going on, I know my voice needs to be heard. So I'm back, baby. And so now the goal right now, my goal is to film an episode every week and at least try and do one live every Monday night or Monday afternoon, Monday evening. You know what I'm saying? So because those are my days off and everything. That's when I have the time to do it. So I'm trying to get back into the swing of that ultimately.
You
I've
need,
got
actually, I think you got to turn that up. I think you got to go live a lot, a
I think I
lot.
should. I think I should.
Yeah,
And I
I
should
think, I
and I need
think
to be
you,
posting on
yeah,
social media more. I just
oh,
signed
great.
back up for TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat. I'm on all the socials. Uh, so yeah, I think I do. You're not wrong. And
I think it's time to figure out. I think it's time to figure out a way to let everybody into your world
yeah,
uh, on a
on a more consistent basis.
way more consistent basis.
Yeah, because consistency is key. So, you
I know
know,
you do a lot. I know you do a lot of interesting things, a lot of information gathering,
yeah,
and I think you need to let us in on on what's going on,
yeah.
how you're coming up with all these things.
You know what? And since I haven't been smoking weed, boy, oh boy, I tell you, I've had a lot of time in just my head, and it has been weird. This has been the longest stretch
You did the
since I,
same. I cut everything off. I stopped drinking and smoking.
good man. How's the wife?
Life's good.
Good.
Life is
Glad to
good.
hear.
I can't. I have some interesting things going on, but I can't talk about it because it's too soon. But yeah,
Okay.
family life is good.
Good. Good. I'm glad to hear it, man. That's beautiful, man. Because like you say, you're not wrong. This has been the most clarity I've had of sober thoughts since I was 15. I've been smoking since I was 15 years old. I'm 43 now.
Can't believe it.
Yeah, yeah, me neither. That's not to say that I may not get I may just get the medical card because I do miss smoking. And according to uh my parole officer, if I have the medical card, they have to treat that as a prescription, and therefore they can't violate me for turning up dirty on the urine test. So, but that's what I've been going through for the last year.
Hell, you might as well. You in PA. You don't have. Do you have a concealed carry license?
No, I do not.
Yeah,
And
there you
since
go.
I'm on parole, I can't own
It's
any
one or the
firearm.
other. So since you don't have that,
Right.
what you do is you smoke. Like, yeah, it makes no sense for you not to get one.
Right. Well, according to the rules that I've
You got
read,
back issues? No problem.
well, yeah. Uh, according to the rules I've read, if I get the medical card, I think it's valid for 2 years, and then once that expires, a year from that day, I'm able to purchase firearms again. And going by that, by then I should be done with parole. I should be done with probation, and I'll be able to own fire. Because again, thankfully, the DA did not give he. I don't have a felony on my record. I only have a misdemeanor. You know what I mean? So I am thankful for that.
Right.
So I'm the misdemeanor man. You ain't gonna get me with a felony, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Sorry about that. We got a little cut off. We ain't gonna say why. We just did. But go ahead and shout out what you got going on, brother.
Oh yeah. So I started taking chess really, really seriously. Like I really dove in. And I remember I started playing you. You probably one of the first people I played like online or something like that.
Hmm.
You used to smack me, and I was like, and I was like, maybe this isn't for me. But I don't know what happened. I started playing. I started playing this dude at my job, and I worked my way up. I started feeling like I was getting closer and closer and closer. Then I started beating him.
Mm.
Then I started playing just random people. I
Hmm.
played like over 2,000 matches
Nice.
in like a year. And now I can honestly say I'm pretty good. I can take you out in 14 moves. Like so
I
I'm
can do it
glad
in
so
four.
yeah, I can do that too. But I can do that too. My
Challenge
problem is my
accepted.
problem is my problem is I can't I'm struggling beating people that don't make mistakes.
Okay.
If you make a mistake, I'm beating you.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah, yeah,
for sure. For sure.
yeah.
Mistake, I'm beating you. So I took to I came around and I got it, and I'm on Twitch. I'm on Twitch, and I play chess on there. You can find me on as Stu Bowles, DJ Stu Bowles.
Okay. I got a Twitch. Shoot me a link. I got a Twitch. I'm on
Yeah,
Twitch.
DJ Stu Balls. I'm on there. I'll be on there playing chess and going live on TikTok. DJ Stu Balls Omnicorp.
Okay.
Yeah,
Frank Star 56 on Twitch. I mean on Twitter, TikTok, Frank underscore Starfire on Instagram. Are you not on Facebook anymore?
I'm not on Facebook anymore.
Okay, that's I thought so.
I am on Facebook, but it's only for like the BS while I'm at work.
Okay.
I don't really communicate on there. It's really toxic on there. It's kind of got a little lame on there. I don't really like diving in there too tough.
You're not
Uh,
wrong.
I cut my Instagram too, and but I got another one. I got another one just to like share reels with a couple of people or whatever.
Okay.
And then I got on Threads.
Okay, yeah, I think I need to download that too.
I do enjoy Threads. I have a good time on Threads,
All right.
but so I like messing with that. I really don't know what my name is on there like that. I'm not really too tapped in. I'm not too tapped in social media wise. I didn't even want to be on TikTok, but
Me
I've
neither.
learned I've learned that everybody left Facebook and went to TikTok. So
They went
all
to
the people that
TikTok.
we were talking to on Facebook, you were friends with on Facebook, they're on TikTok
Yeah,
now.
which also links to Instagram, which is owned by Facebook. So it's all connected, whether we realize it or not. Um, but yeah, I'm back on TikTok. I got my Snapchat back. I'm on Twitter still, or X, whatever the fuck it's called now. I don't know.
I'm still not.
Um,
I'm still not allowed on Twitter.
so I'm not allowed on Twitter. Damn, what did you do? Did you tell Elon to kiss your ass?
I went down a dark hole, and that is
To be
where,
fair,
where all the forbidden fruit was at, and I
to be
think they
fair,
caught. I think they caught me.
X is the epitome of the black hole. So,
Yeah,
you
it's,
know,
it's, it's wild. It's wild on there.
it's the wild, wild west on there.
I think they caught me. I think they caught me being caught me being nasty.
But we try to we try to reinvigorate your algorithm. So we back. We coming back. We gonna do this more often. I'm coming back. Just to Be Frank podcast. Agree to disagree. Look out for Mythology for Thugs because that's coming back too. We're gonna do it all, man. And fairly soon. I got the insurance exam on Monday, so I'm gonna pass that. Start doing that again. And look,
Look,
lo and
I look, I
behold,
look, I look forward to locking in with you again, brother. We have
look, we back at it, man. Word up, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, what I because one of the biggest problems I had was like feeling that level of imposter syndrome where I'm scared to invite people on. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And I have to get over that shit. The most I can do is send the invite, send the request, and if they want to come on, they can. If they don't, they don't. And but I gotta stop. I had to stop being scared. I let fear start to rule me, and you know what I mean. And I had to let go of that fear in order to propel
You
myself forward.
you have nothing to fear, so I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't worry about that if I were you. Somebody like me per se, yeah. I don't take negativity very well. I don't like I'm not too comfortable with intrusion and stuff like that. So it's kind of a touchy place for me. But I feel like you are a very confident and intelligent dude. You don't have those things to worry about. So if I
Well,
was you, I wouldn't worry about
it
that.
took me a while to get back to that, be honest with you. But we back, baby. So for the homegoing Sean Wallace, you know what I mean? I'm of course your boy Frank Starfire. This has been Agree to Disagree, brought to you by the Just to Be Frank podcast. Of course, Cappy Land Records. Always gonna shout him out because I love them guys. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Doe Jones. You know what I mean? And Irv and my brother Irv. You know what I mean? And you know what else? I've also gotten back into writing Breed, so that should be coming to you soon. I know I took a long ass time to do it, but it's coming, baby. So everything's back in the pipeline. I'm back on my bullshit. You know what I mean? Cue the
I'm
Kendrick song.
saying you got so much to give, dude.
Got so much to give, and I had to
Just do
stop
it.
being scared to do it. So
Do it.
I'm not letting fear rule me no more. Fuck that. And welcome back to the world, baby. So, Sean Wallace, I'm Frank Starfire. We gonna play some chess. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.